okay? So as you shop for your house, timing, so important. Because remember, you have to sell your house first in order to buy a new home. So everything has to be done at the same time. So many things can happen, okay? You might be buying a home from someone who also has to sell their home. Okay, so you're buying, who has to buy a home. So you're buying a home from someone who also has to buy a home, and someone's buying your home. See how many people are now involved and connected in the transaction? This goes back to why it's important to be pre-approved. You want to make sure you're not the one that causes any problems if a problem occurs. So if one person can't get the loan or has a delay, it's going to affect everyone in that lineup. If the person who's buying their next house and selling theirs to you, if there's a hiccup in their loan, you can't buy their home yet, okay? Or they may have to negotiate some sort of deal with you so that they can close, okay? Just likewise, the person buying your home could cause a problem if their loan isn't completed, or if there's a delay, or if a problem occurs. That's going to prevent you from buying your new home, especially when you're contingent. So timing of everything is super important to think about, okay? But here's how it goes in theory. On the day of settlement, you're going to close on your home, okay? And then an hour or so later, you're then going to buy the new home. So everything's going to happen all at once. You're not going to be living in a box for a day or two. You don't have to. Everything should and could happen all on the same day. In fact, that's normally how it works. This way, everyone moves into their new homes the day of settlement. That's why, again, contingencies are really nerve-wracking, because there's so much that can happen. And when you have a situation where it's like a domino effect, that could impact where you go and you're moving. So I rewind back to my last video when I talked about getting pre-approved. So important to get pre-approved. Do the hard stuff first. Provide your information, your financial information. Provide your ID, provide your assets. Do everything that the lender needs you to do up front, so that you know you're not going to be the cog in the wheel that stops moving in this transaction, okay? So that everything is more than likely going to move forward, okay, and smoothly. The other thing you don't want to do, because of the same reason, do not schedule anything until all parties are clear to close. You don't want to have moving vans waiting for you and then all of a sudden you have to delay closing. You don't want to turn off your electricity and then you still have to live in the house for a weekend or a few days. You don't want to have things being delivered on the day you're moving in and all of a sudden now you have to reschedule it. That's a lot of stress. Wait until you're clear to close. Wait until everyone is clear to close before you start scheduling these things. And I know it sounds really hard, because I'm sure you're going to see some sales or some deals or whatever, but trust me, you're going to thank me. Don't schedule anything unless you're cleared to close. And you know everything is going to go forward without a hitch. And if you do schedule something, make sure it's something that's easily pushed if you have to. Okay? Because that's the worst thing. If something does happen, it doesn't even have to be your fault, because remember, there's other moving pieces in this world of buying and selling. It could be something on someone else's, side. If you have to reschedule something, make sure it's something that's easy. It's a phone call. It's a, hey, Comcast, I need to do it for the next day or 3 days from now. Whatever, right? Whoever you're calling or whatever you're scheduling, make sure it's very easy to reschedule if an emergency happens. And that even includes closing. I would hold off on scheduling a time until all parties have the clear to close, because like I said before, you can't schedule your closing in the morning on your purchase if you haven't even sold your house yet, and that's not happening to the afternoon. It doesn't work that way. Everything has to kind of flow in this nice long line and timeline to move forward. So think about that. Again, all lines point to being prepared. It all starts with those first 2 steps that I talked about. Get the listing presentation done so you know what you need to do and how much you can get for your home, and then get pre-approved. There's no commitment with either of these 2 things, but you're going to be so well prepared that when you're in the transaction, it's going to be seamless and less stressful. Because our goal is to have you worry about paint colors and curtains, not, oh my gosh, am I going to close?